Coming up on today's show, we have so many things you can do with rhubarb, you're not going to even believe it. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And as I was researching some things to do with rhubarb other than just making muffins or cakes, pies, you know, all delicious. Yeah. I will eat it. You make it, I'll eat it. But I didn't realize, you know, we found a recipe for rhubarb tea.
Yes.
Who would think? Rhubarb tea.
Yeah, and it's really a good flavor to it. I already made some, and we're going to show it's so simple. We're going to start off with that one first because we start off with like 8 to 10 cups of water.
Okay.
And then it asks for about 8 stalks of, rhubarb. Okay. And I just already got this pre-cut. Okay. So we're going to just put this in our boiling water here. And that's just going to simmer. You know, it says simmer up to, an hour. But it's just going to be kind of when it's soft, and once that's really, just all blended in that with the flavorings and stuff. And with the rhubarb, it starts getting a little bit pink because, the color. Yeah. And it's so simple, but it's good. It's very good. So we're going to leave that just simmering here. And then we're going to start with a springtime rhubarb cheesecake submitted by Marge Dangle. She
has submitted some very fabulous recipes for us, and I can't wait to try this. I mean, cheesecake, rhubarb, springtime, we got it all.
Absolutely here. Now, I'm going to have you spray our pan, and we're going to start with, we're going to make our crust. The crust you need to bake for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it starts with 1 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of nuts.
Okay.
And then we have a teaspoon of vanilla in there. So, in fact, okay, that's my teaspoon there. So a teaspoon of vanilla. And then a 1/4 cup of butter, or which equals a 1/2 stick of, butter.
Sure.
And I've got this out, and it's really soft. So, either you want to make sure that you have it softened or just melted a little bit. And that, so, and I know we've just used this
do the mom thing.
Do the mom thing. Use your hands. You know the consistency, and you get it mixed better. So we're just going to mix this up, and then we'll put it in that pan and bake it for 10 minutes. And while that's baking, we're going to do the cheesecake filling in there. And that's simple there too. It's 2 packages of 8-ounce cream cheese, 3 eggs, and 3/4 cup sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So it's not a complicated dessert at all.
Well, and we're just heading into the spring, really springtime, where rhubarb is fresh. It's can't wait to make some of those recipes that we haven't had for all winter. It's going to be great.
It is really good. And one thing I feel like with the rhubarb tea, and we're also going to make a Rhubarb-Blackberry topping for ice cream. Those 2 things especially, you could use frozen rhubarb.
Oh, sure.
So because you're going to cook that, so many times you might have more rhubarb than you want just at the time. Freeze it and stuff, and that's really a nice treat when you come winter and you don't have fresh rhubarb, but you can make these things and you never know it's not fresh.
Right. Well, and when we're talking about ice cream topping with rhubarb, and I believe we got some blackberries here.
Yes.
I think that would be excellent syrup too for pancakes or waffles.
Absolutely. Rhubarb and strawberries always seem to go together. You find a lot of recipes for that, but I thought the blackberries were just a nice different little twist to that.
Sure.
So we just mix that, and it's nice and, crumbly. So we're going to just push that in the bottom of our pan here. And We are, like I said, using walnuts. It just gives it a nice little crunch, but you know, if you have somebody that's allergic to nuts, you still can make this dessert. Just eliminate the walnuts.
Sure.
You know, with that. Because you don't want to deny anybody the pleasure of this dessert.
No.
And stuff. So, and just pat it down here. And now we're going to put it in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes.
Okay.
We'll do that and close it up, and we'll just set our timer here. And I'm just going to wash my hands off here.
The one downside of using your hands to mix.
Yeah, but you know it's easier washing than a utensil. Okay. Now, like I said, we're going to go ahead and mix our cream cheese. And I would, you know, soften that or have it set out for just a little bit.
Sure.
You know, so that it's easy to mix.
And after we have the crust cooled a little bit and we put this in here, how long does we bake it once, you know, we have the cream cheese and the eggs and everything mixed together?
Okay, after that, and we put this filling on it, we're going to bake it for 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
And then, in the meantime, we're going to cook the rhubarb filling that's going to go on top of the baked cheesecake part.
Perfect.
Good. Yeah. So now we're going to put in 3/4 cup sugar and another teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, there's the teaspoon. Okay. And you can use your liquid or your powder, whichever you have on hand. And then I'm going to just crack those eggs into a cup to make sure everything is good.
Definitely.
And, you know, you want to whip that filling till it's nice and creamy and really blended well. Okay. Getting a little here, the water. I'm going to take the lid off here. I don't think we really need that on there. So,
Okay.
okay. Now we're just get that really blended, and I'll probably beat it for a good 5 minutes.
Okay.
And that way it'll have a nice consistency to that.
Sounds great.
And you probably want to scrape your bowl just a little bit. When you first get it going, that cream cheese likes to stick to the bottom. Okay, so we'll just beat that, and it won't take long before the crust is done, and we'll go on to the next.
Sounds great.
Okay, that's nice and creamy there, and we'll take out the crust. The buzzer went out for that.
Okay.
And it says to let that cool for 5 to 10 minutes, so that's what we're going to do. And then we'll pour the filling on it, and we'll put it back in the oven for 20 minutes. And while we're doing that, while that's baking, we're going to make our rhubarb topping.
Perfect.
Okay, now our crust is nice and to the touch there, cool. So we're going to add our filling. And we just whipped that until that was just really nice and creamy here. So we'll spread that on.
Oh, that's a beautiful color too.
I like cream cheese. It makes such good desserts.
There's not too many people that you find that don't like cream cheese.
Yeah, that's good. All right.
All right, now we're going to bake this again.
Yes, we're going to just bake that. The pan is pretty good, but I'm just going to play it safe and use my pot holder. We'll put it back in the oven here. And we're going to put that on for 20 minutes. And it says from 20 to 25, we're going to put 20 minutes and we'll check it, and if it looks like it needs more, then we can. Boy, you can really smell this rhubarb just simmering here with this.
And it does, and you know, I was just looking at it just a few moments ago, and it's breaking down, and that rhubarb just swells up too.
It does. It really does. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the sauce for the rhubarb sauce for on top of the cheesecake when it's done.
Okay.
We'll just bring it over here and we'll put our ingredients in there. It asks for 3 cups of cut up, rhubarb.
Okay.
So we have that here. And then it asks for a cup of sugar. And a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon flavoring. So we're going to put that in there. And it says a 1/4 cup of water.
Okay.
And then we're going to add a tablespoon of cornstarch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my water in this bowl, and I'm going to add my cornstarch to that, and I'm going to just a tablespoon. We're going to just blend that in there. Get it blended. Okay. And I'll just take the little whisk, and so my cornstarch is all dissolved in there, so
sure,
I don't get any lumps or anything in that. Although when you're cooking that, I think the corn, you're going to be simmering it for about 10 minutes or so. It's going to all pretty much dissolve.
Okay.
And that, to say if you didn't dissolve it in the water that it's going to get lumpy, I didn't try it that way.
You just have always done it this way, and that's the way you cook.
I dissolve, cornstarch in water. So, and then we're going to put that on. Like I said, just simmer that until that rhubarb is all soft and broke down. Okay. And then at the very end, we're just going to add a couple of drops of red food coloring.
Okay.
Just to give that a little bit more color to it. So we'll bring that over here, and we're going to put that on. And we'll just kind of, I won't have that on too high, but I'll put that on, and we'll get that started here and, stir it occasionally.
Okay.
And I'm going to take this kettle over here. Oops. I think I put the wrong burner on. That might not be good. Okay. For the topping, for the ice cream topping, it says 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay. So we have that, and I'm just looking for a spatula. I must have a few of those around. So I'm going to... And then it says 2 cups rhubarb. Okay. And we have 2 cups of blackberries, but we're only going to put a cup in when we simmer, for the rhubarb to get soft, because the blackberries don't take very long. And so we're going to add the rest of the blackberries at the end and just stir it in. Okay. So...
And those are nice, plump blackberries. Oh, they're awesome this time of year.
They are, very much so. Oh, I think I got my other wooden spoon over here. So I'm going to just put that on the back, and I'm going to just put it down on really low here. Just till that butter gets melted, and just let that simmer for a little bit. So we'll have a couple of things going at once here.
Well, and then a lot of these aren't going to take very long, and I'm so excited to taste the ice cream topping because it's fresh, you made it, and it's something different.
It is. And right away, I like the idea of, you want to cool it down a little bit, but having it warm over ice cream.
Just like hot fudge, but rhubarb.
That's
blackberries.
Right. Absolutely. So we'll just... let that go for just a little bit here. Okay, our rhubarb sauce is already done here, so we're going to turn that off and make sure I got the right burner off on that. And we've got our rhubarb with the blackberries here, and that's on low, and I'm going to still just keep that down here.
Okay.
And let's bring this over here. And we have, show 6 minutes left for the rhubarb cream cheese custard there. So we're going to just set this here to cool. And as soon as it cools down a little bit, we're going to add maybe 3 to 4 drops of red food coloring.
Okay.
Just to give a little bit of a color there. And so that's already done. So we don't have just too long to wait.
Not at all.
We're going to just go ahead and finish up. We put the rhubarb and blackberries together.
Okay.
And that has pretty much melted, you know, I shouldn't say melted, you know, cooked up. And so we're going to add the rest. And this time we're going to just heat it thoroughly. We're not going to really cook it too much longer. I turned the burner off because there's enough heat there just to kind of get them all.
Okay.
So your blackberries that you're adding are going to be fairly chunky.
Okay.
And but that's going to really look good on your ice cream.
It's going to taste good too.
And I think our rhubarb tea here should be pretty well done. So what I'm going to do is we're going to bring it over here and I'm going to strain it.
Okay.
I'm going to just put a strainer in a bowl here and we're going to add that.
It's amazing how that breaks down.
It does. It really does. So we're going to just take that and just kind of stir it so it goes through. And I did make some here. We'll show that. But what I did was, you know, this is a little bit bigger strainer. I strained that and so I'd get, you know, as much of the rhubarb flavoring in here.
Sure.
And then I took a fine strainer and poured it through into my pitcher.
Okay.
And that way, you know, there wasn't any extra pulp or anything that went through because, like I said, this is a little bit bigger. Got a strainer. But you can see right here, there's just, it's all cooked up to pretty much just mush.
Yes.
I don't think we got too much flavoring left in that.
I don't think we do.
So we'll set that aside here. And I'm going to take my pitcher here. And I'm going to just go ahead and pour this through to, like I said, to get any of the extra pulp out.
There's not going to be a lot now.
No. But it's surprising how much you do get and that it'll stop, you know, flowing because there is, you know, some really fine stuff there. So we're going to just put that over.
And it's amazing how red this is.
Yeah, and there's different rhubarbs. You know, your red rhubarb is definitely the best. The rhubarb I have is not the total red. It has quite a bit of red on it, but you know, some of the rhubarb that's out there, the stalk is just red all the way through. And it's just a nice color. And then, you know, you can just set this in your fridge and cool that, or because I don't think you want to, oh, there, we hear the oven going for our cheesecake. And let's see how that looks. Oh, that looks like that's done. So we'll turn off the oven and I'll get my other mitt and we'll get that. And so you can just see that cheesecake has just set up.
Definitely.
You know, it's not,
a little bit browner on the edges, just to let you know it's done as well.
Yeah, so we're going to just leave that a second. We'll finish this up. There.
And this makes a very nice serving of the tea.
It is. You know, and you can certainly make more, just put more water in and add a little more rhubarb so that, you know, you would have, you know, several servings, you know, if you were having company or or you're just going to relax out on the deck.
Now, do we add any sugar to this?
Yeah, you know, thanks for reminding me. I think I will do that right away. Yes, it says add sugar to taste, and what we have, I've got a 1/3 cup.
Okay.
And that's what I added in my others, and I thought that was more than enough, you know, for sweetening. But if you need it sweeter,
okay,
just okay.
I would never have thought to make rhubarb tea.
I wouldn't have either. Well, and it's such a pretty color. It almost looks like lemonade.
It does.
So we're going to set that aside here. And our rhubarb sauce here has pretty much cooled off. So I'm going to add about 3-4 drops of red food coloring.
Okay.
And for you that have, you know, the real red rhubarb, you may find you might not need any at all or very little.
Okay.
So just to give it a little bit, you know, that nice red rhubarb color.
I could see just a nice summer party with everything that we're making tonight.
Oh, absolutely. So we're going to just drizzle that over here. And this then, of course, you want to refrigerate for several hours before serving.
Sure. It's probably not going to last too many days in the fridge, though, for as delicious as it's going to be.
Oh, absolutely. But I didn't think you wanted to wait a few hours to taste this. I already have one in the fridge.
All right.
All ready to go. So we're going to just spread this out. And you can see it thickens with that little bit of cornstarch in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to let it cool a little bit before I do set it in the fridge anyway, you know, just before I, you know, to chill.
Right.
Okay. And we'll just set that aside here. And we can bring out the tea and our you know, the rhubarb dessert.
The chilled rhubarb cheesecake.
Yes, and let's just kind of check to see how our sauces, our topping. And you know, this topping, it doesn't ask for any butter. I mean, we put butter in it. Any sugar. You know, which I was a little bit surprised. But with the blackberries and that butter, it actually...
It's going to have
really
enough
good.
sweetness.
It will. So we're going to just cut this here. I'm going to get a knife. We'll show it. Here. I should have used a little bit stronger knife than my butter knife, but it'll cut. There.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay, we'll get a plate here. And I kind of wonder where I put my little spatula here. So we're going to take that out. Oh, doesn't that look good?
That looks delightful.
Oh, it really does. And we're going to pour some rhubarb tea here, and that's already chilled, so that's just going to be great.
That just looks so festive for summer.
It is. So we're going to just bring this over here, and I'd like to get that cooled just a little bit before we show that on top of the ice cream.
Okay.
So we'll just wait a few moments, okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, I think we're ready to finish everything up and feast.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're going to put a little bit of rhubarb-blackberry topping on our ice cream here. We've got it down, cooled a little bit, but not, you know, it's still warm. It's going to just rolls off that ice cream. Nice color.
Oh.
You know that. This you certainly don't have to add food coloring to make it red because of the blackberries.
That's right.
So here we are. We have ice cream with rhubarb blackberry topping. This wonderful rhubarb cheesecake from Marge Dangle.
Thank you so much again, Marge.
Yes, and rhubarb tea.
Oh, summer is here.
Summer's
here.
That's right. So
yes, to get these recipes, please go to our website, Consolidated, www.ctctel.com. Again, thank you, Marge, for submitting your awesome recipes for us to cook for you. And please submit your recipes to our online site as well. As always, thank you to the Workshop for being our sponsor. Have a great day.